everyone, my name is Dرويش. Welcome back. Today we will stop talking about the writing for only one episode, and today I will answer a question. One of my subscribers asked this question. Teacher, please can you explain discourse markers too? By the way, this lesson is for advanced students, also for intermediate students, not for beginners. But after all, you can listen whether you are a beginner, an intermediate student, or an advanced, of course. Okay, let's start. We have a lot of discourse markers, so let's start with number one here. Speaking of. Remember, after speaking of, you must give a noun, a name or a noun. It's fine. Look, before I explain this, I need you to understand. We have student A, student B, or person A, person B. Good? Alright. So A and B. They are speaking now, and A, okay, and B is speaking, and they're speaking about, for example, number one. They're talking about something, number one we call it, okay? So they're speaking and they said, okay, and number two did this and this and this. You want to talk about two, not number one, okay? He gave 1 point about number two, and A says, okay, I want to talk about this. So what he wants to do, all right? So he says what? Speaking of two, all right? So speaking of running, and now you change from that subject to another subject, but you have a link. There is a link between subject one and subject two. You're speaking about number one, and you give 1 point about two. Now I change. I have a link. Good? This is speaking of. Understood? Good. Number two. By the way, incidentally, here, remember, I am speaking to you, okay? I'm speaking to you about number one. Very good. In my mind, there is something thought about number two. So now I want to change it to number two. I want to change it. Something in my mind. Now I change it to you. It came to my mind. I want to change. So I say, by the way, what about number two? Okay. Well, by the way, what did number two do? I understand. So I changed from number one to two. But here, the difference, here I have a link. Here I don't have a link. It's a thought in my mind. Okay. I thought about it and I talk. I'm talking about Khalid and I'm speaking. Okay. And I thought about Yusra. Alright, so I talk about Yusra. I tell you, did you see Yusra? By the way, did you see Yusra? Okay, so now I change to Yusra. You get it? Good. Here, in fact, actually, as a matter of fact, you can use any of these. Alright? Look, it depends, guys. Either you are bringing or telling your friend, okay, a surprising info. Info means information. Or an expected one. Alright, because you're giving the fact. Good, it's easy, guys. Like I say, in fact, and you give an expected one or a surprising one. Okay, for example, you're speaking to me and you say, John and Jack had a problem. I don't know why, they're friends. I know something you don't know. I say, in fact, they had a problem yesterday. And you say, oh my God, I don't know about this. Okay, so it is unexpected. Maybe it's surprising to you. I don't know. Okay, good. In any case, this is really confusing. Okay, but not with me. You are speaking about something. I'll give you an example. You want to say something wasn't important. How? I tell you, I'm sorry I didn't go to the party because my wife was sick. In any case, the party was bad. My friends told me the party was bad. Okay, so now I'm telling you, in any case, and I give you something that it wasn't important to go. Okay, you get it? So this is in any case, wasn't important. You understand it? Okay. Number two, at least. Also, this is not confusing, but this is not clear. Students don't understand it. Look, when you talk about a negative point about something, and a negative, you want to give a positive. You want to change something to a positive. Okay. In this thing, all right? So you say at least. You get it? Good. You say, John did not study hard. John did not do his homework. John didn't, you're saying he failed, okay? John didn't listen to his teacher well, and now you say, and now the person is telling me, teacher, at least he attended every lecture. Okay, now you're giving me a point, a positive point after some negative points. Get the idea? Good. Next, as I was saying, we are speaking about number 1. We finished, so now we are speaking about 2. I want to return to 1. I say, as I was saying, number 1 is blah blah blah. So as I was saying is to return to something you talked about. Okay, good. Let's continue. On the whole. Look, when you want to speak something in general, you say on the whole. You're not specifying any point. You're just saying on the whole, it's like in general, okay? To generalize something you want to say. And this is confusing with all in all and after all. Focus. On the whole, in general, you're not specifying any category, okay? You're just speaking in general. All in all, no, it's different. Okay? All in all, for example, we have 4 subjects. Okay? Not 4 subjects, we have 1 subject. We are speaking about 4 parts of this. You are telling me number 1. You're telling me number 2. You're telling me number 3. Now you want to tell me number 4. Okay? And you want to tell me that you really think about 1, 2, and 3. But number 4 is your important one. Okay? So when you say all in all, means consideration. What is consideration? Means I understand everything. I understand 1, 2, 3, but number 4 is mine. Okay? So you're giving, I'll give you another example. You tell me, don't do that because it is harmful. Don't do it because the place you live in will not understand. Don't do it because your family will not understand. Okay? And I tell you, all in all, I'm gonna do it. All right? Here, it doesn't mean I don't care of what I don't care about what you said. No, I care about everything you said. They are all in my consideration. Okay? But this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I say all in all. Alright? It's like finally, but finally that I consider and I think a lot about what you said. Alright? Good. Next, after all. After all is the opposite. Okay? All in all, you're talking about yourself. Okay? About something that is related to you. After all usually is used to put consideration to the person you want to talk to. Alright? Good. So I tell you, for example, I tell you, we are walking the street, we found something, and I tell you, take it. And you say, no man, I'm not gonna take it. I tell you, hey man, you gotta take it. You did not steal it, you did not do something wrong. You found it on the street, nobody is there, just take it. Tell me no. I tell you, hey, take it. After all, nobody, you're not going to have this chance again. Alright? It's like I'm telling him, hey, think about this, consider this in your mind. You're not doing something wrong, all right? And it is true. I'm not misleading him. Okay, next. So here, after all, a strong argument to the listener's consideration, all right? The listeners. All right, good. Besides, this is really easy, guys. In addition, moreover, all right? Besides something, and you talk. And do not mix it with beside and besides. Alright, this is besides. I'm not going to explain it because it's not related to this. Okay, next, basically. From the word basic, you're talking about something important. Alright, so basically, you're talking about the most important point you want to say. Alright, good. Next, obviously. Obviously, it's like something is obvious. It's like you can see it. Or you can understand it easily. So I tell you, obviously, you can do that. It means with no talking, no need to explain, you know what to do, all right? You can see it, you can understand it, all right? Good. I mean, look, you are speaking about something, you say a statement, all right? Now you want to specify it either to give details or to give what you really mean. All right, like what is the idea? Like, I don't like him. What do you mean? You're generalizing ideas. And you say, I mean, and you give me 1 point. When I talk to him, he doesn't listen to me. Now you hate him because of this. So this is what you mean, and you don't mean that he is really bad. All right? Good. In other words, you are actually repeating an idea in another way. You're explaining something in another way. So I explain to you something, and you tell me, for example, I explain water, for example. I tell you it is something that it is a liquid. It is a liquid that we take it from under the ground, okay? And we can drink it, and it is good for us. Good? I tell you, in other words, like you didn't understand. I tell you, in other words, it comes when it rains. When it is raining, it comes to us, all right? You understand the idea? So you say, in other words, you're explaining the same idea, but in another way, in other words, all right? Good. Now, we still have some. All right, we still have these. Otherwise, you're giving a result of the word if you don't do this, I will do this. All right, it is like otherwise. I tell you, do your homework, not homework, do the dishes. I tell you, do the dishes. Otherwise, I'm not gonna take you to the zoo. All right. It's like I'm giving you the result of what if you don't do something, all right, or if you do something. Good. All right. Next, and this is not confusing, but many students don't understand. As far, and bring something. For example, as far sports are concerned, as far people are concerned, as far teaching is concerned, as far as whatever you want to say, okay? But remember, you bring a noun here, and after it verb be. Is, are, am, was, were, okay? So you need it here. You need verb be here. Good. Or you can say as regards, regarding. And after this, you bring a noun, okay? Bring a noun, I'll come. I will explain the punctuation later, not now. Okay, so as regards, for example here, for example, say as far students, okay, are concerned, okay, good. Here, as regards students, all right, or regarding. Here, to announce a change, to announce to tell someone that I am going to change the subject. If you want to change the subject, all right, and you want to tell the listener that I am going to change the subject, you use this. As far, bring the subject you want to talk about here, okay, concern, and speak. Or as regards something, then speak about it, okay? Get it? Good. That is to say, and in other words are similar, all right? I will talk later about how similar they are, all right? Later than now. That is to say, this is to explain what you said. You said something, you want to explain it, like you want to specify it, okay? Sorry. It is mixed here. I will explain later how we make it. But this is to explain what you just said. All right, good. On the other hand, or on the one hand, this is to show a contrast. All right, you know contrast, guys? It's like but. All right. On the other hand, you bring a contrast for what you just said. Now I'm going to bring 2-3 things together as I explained to you on the whole, all in all, and after all, how you differentiate, okay? Now I bring you some, I tell you they are close, how we differentiate. Good? We'll stay, guys. All right, now let's talk about the similar things. Here, speaking of and as far. Look, Both of them, we use them to change the subject. No, still have one. Yes, still have 1 point. Now look, these three. Speaking of, remember guys, speaking of, you change the subject, alright? We use all of them to change the subject, alright? But there are some differences here and there. Speaking of, when the person talking to you, alright, mentions 1 point that is not related to the subject that you're speaking about, alright? And you want to change to it. So you have a link, alright? So when you have a link, you use speaking of to change the subject. Good? Number 2. As far, this is you use it to tell the listener that I am going to change the subject to this subject. Alright? To announce. By the way, it's like a crazy person. You're speaking to someone and poof, he is or she is speaking about something else. Alright? By the way. So by the way guys, it is something related to you. It is up to you, alright? So you are speaking about a topic. You're speaking, for example, about smoking, alright? So you're speaking about smoking and blah 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 blah. There is a part in your mind is thinking about, for example, sport. Okay? So you say, by the way, what about sport? Okay, so now you change the subject. There is no link. You did not tell the person about announcing the subject. It came to your mind, you just changed the subject. You get it? That's it. Now we still have this one. I mean, in other words, that's to say. Okay. Let me draw this for that's to say. Here. Okay. You mentioned this, alright? You are speaking about this. You want to go deeper. You want to explain it, but deeper in the same point. Okay? So you say that's to say, and you go here, deeper in it. Good? So you say, John is going to help us. That's to say, okay? That's to say he is going to give us food. Alright? So now you mention what is he going to help us with. Alright? Good. Next. In other words, you explain the same idea, but in another way. Alright? You're not giving an additional information. You're not giving details. No. As I explained to you about water. Alright? Okay? For example, fire. I explain fire to you and I tell you fire is a flame or not. Fire, it is something that if you touch it, it burns your hand, okay? And hurts you. Good. You say fire can eat everything in the world, but water, like it cannot eat water. If you put water, it dies, okay? It is the same idea. I explained the fire, okay? And I did not give more details. I did not give something else or additional information. Good. So this is, in other words, to explain the same thing in different words. I mean to specify. You give a general idea, okay? Focus. You give a general idea. Now you want to specify. You say I mean, all right? So this is to specify. That's all about discourse markers. If you have any question, guys, like between two, you did not understand them, it's fine. Write them down in the comment. I'll be happy to explain the difference, okay? Good. We still have one thing, guys. It is about punctuation. I will write all of them now, and I will show you the punctuation. Good. Let's do it. Now about punctuation. Okay, here. Speaking of, I forgot to do this. Here, you use a noun. All right. Speaking of cars, speaking of him, right? By the way, a comma, incidentally, in fact, comma, actually, comma. As a matter of fact, no comma, top. As a matter of fact, it is blah, blah, blah. All right, good. In any case, anyway, at least, optional. You use it, you don't use it, both are correct. Good. As I was saying, also comma, on the whole, comma, all in all, comma, after all, comma, besides comma, basically comma, obviously comma, I mean comma, in other words, comma, alright? Otherwise, this is special, guys. I want you to understand it well. Okay, look, if you have a full stop here, and this is capital, don't use a comma after it, no comma, alright? But if you're going to use it in the middle, you're speaking and you want to put comma before, and this is small, okay? So no comma after, a comma before. Do not forget this, okay? Here we go. As far as, yeah, I'm sorry guys, before I talked about as far students are concerned, I'm sorry I forgot as far as students are concerned, okay? I'm sorry I forgot it. Also you use a comma as regards here, noun, okay, then verb be. Here we need a noun, also here a noun, okay, good. That's also comma, 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 here, that's to say comma on the other hand, comma, or on the one hand, okay, on the other hand. Here guys, remember that here is optional, take it or leave it, take it or leave it, it's fine, you write it or not, it is okay. That. Good, that's all about Discourse markers guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it is long, but it is maybe useful. It is totally. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. Bye bye guys.